Hello, everyone. This is Daryl Guberman, CEO of Guberman PMC LLC, a quality consulting firm here in Connecticut. And this is very important because I am a Boeing shareholder. And after gathering my data, as I did back in October of 2024, out there at Renton, Everett, Auburn, and Northfield in Washington State, we got a lot of information. And that's why I apologize for the way it's coming out, not mirror image. So should be over here. I apologize, but you get the gist of what this sweatshirt, which has traveled with me to Renton, Everett, Auburn, and Northfield. This video today is about, and I am seriously, President Trump, Elon Musk, please listen and listen well. It's in your court, gentlemen, your court. Boeing's leadership crisis, the cost of executive bloat and workforce turnover. I am a shareholder of Boeing stock. Ladies and gentlemen, President Trump, Elon Musk, Kelly Oberg, and even John Holden. Today, we stand at a crossroads. In the aerospace industry, an industry built on precision, innovation, and accountability, yet the company that once defined American engineering excellence, Boeing, is now plagued by a leadership crisis that threatens not just its future, but the very safety and reliability of the aircraft we trust. At the heart of this crisis is a top-heavy corporate structure. While Boeing has an estimated 284, listen to this again, ladies and gentlemen, especially you, IAM 751 union members, Boeing has an estimated 284 vice presidents or higher. The company's operational workforce, those responsible for quality control, engineering, and safety, continues to shrink. Decisions are made in the boardrooms by executives far removed from factory floors where quality and safety are upheld. This bloated leadership structure raises a fundamental question. Is Boeing truly being led by those who understand the complexities of aerospace manufacturing, or is it being managed by career bureaucrats whose expertise lies in cutting costs rather than building safe aircraft? And we have seen it before. And Kelly, I'm sorry to say this, but we heard from people who were at the meeting, that last and final offer, that you came in and you said, this is our last and final offer. This is it. If you don't take it, we will hire scabs, basically. How true it is? I've got 2, maybe 3 different emails from people who I met out there at those places in Washington State. Let's continue on. The human cost of management. Boeing's workforce is facing an exodus of talent. In just the past decade, the average tenure of a union-represented engineers has dropped from 16.4 years to 12.6 years. That is not just a statistic, it is a red flag. It signals a loss of institutional knowledge, a brain drain that will have consequences for decades. When experienced engineers leave, their expertise is not easily replaced. Quality suffers, safety suffers, the public suffers. And I say this again. Kelly, when you said we will get scabs, this is our last and final offer, that is a problem. That is not a good culture. You wanted to change culture. With me, you would change that culture. We would be working side by side, and we can do it together. Not the people you already have there. They're lame ducks. They've been there for a long time. Let's continue on. A recent survey suggests that 65% of Boeing's employees are considering leaving the company. That is an astonishing number. Why? Because a company cannot function when the people responsible for its success no longer believe in its mission. Boeing has spent years prioritizing Wall Street over its workforce, and the consequences are clear. Missed deadlines, safety concerns, production failures, and declining reputation. A call for accountability and change. We must demand accountability. Boeing needs a fundamental restructuring of its leadership. And I will say this again, ladies and gentlemen, humbly, that if they do not utilize Daryl Guberman to be the pinnacle of quality, to be the spearhead of quality, allow me to give Boeing back its strength. And that is in the people, not doing Pareto charts in a room telling the management how well we're doing in quality. It doesn't work. You have to roll up your sleeves. You have to get your hands dirty, and you have to be the impetus that makes Boeing move forward. We must demand accountability. Boeing needs a fundamental restructuring of its leadership. It does not need more vice presidents. It needs more engineers, inspectors, quality specialists. It needs leaders who understand that aerospace is not about profit margins. It's about lives. Daryl Guberman has been harping on that since April 17th, 2024, when I stood up in Capitol Hill, not invited, uninvited, open door, to support Sam Salapar, the whistleblower for the design issues on the 777, 787. I stood up. I went back to see an accountant, David Calhoun, okay? An accountant. The only thing he knew about aerospace was when he hit his Titleist 3 ball off the tee. That's it. Composite materials, the materials used in aircraft. He knew the golf club, what the golf club was made out of, a composite shaft. Heads that could be the head of the golf club could be titanium, aluminum, or graphite. That's the only thing he knew. And he gets $32 million for what purpose? He managed the factory from his home in New Hampshire. It is about ensuring every aircraft that leaves Boeing factory is built to the highest possible standards, not just the most cost-effective one. Boeing must also recognize that its most valuable asset is not the stock price, but its workforce. We need an aerospace company that respects experience, values expertise, and prioritizes safety over short-term financial gains. That is the Boeing the world once knew, and it is the Boeing we must fight to restore. Let this be a turning point, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Oberg, Mr. President, Mr. Musk, and also Tom Holden. Let this be a moment where we refuse to accept mediocrity disguised as progress. Boeing must change, or it will be changed by the consequences of its own failures. And you know something? Boeing gave up on-site auditing for 22 years. I exposed that. They most recently, in January of 2025, took those web pages down from their supplier portal. Why? Because those two documents said, send in your certs, 2 of them, send in your parts and we don't have to come visit you. Only if the need arises, or only if the need be. There's liability. You hear that, lawyers? There's liability in those words, and they took it down, and we have it. The American National Standards Institute and the American National Crediting Board, where you have federal agencies and corporations sitting on board, they had the management committee page that had Boeing on board, and on that page it states that there's more companies than just that. It states the management committee can grant, suspend, and withdraw certification. That to me is a fucked up. As Patrick Shanahan said, I use that term. Don't go, what's he saying? Patrick Shanahan used that when he was first time Deputy Secretary of Defense under Donald Trump. When he was asked about the F-35, he said the program was fucked up. And now he's the CEO of Spirit Aerospace Systems, where Boeing, I think, bought it for $4 billion. I thought they didn't have enough cash in the kitty for the last strike, but they have cash in the kitty to buy a failing company like Spirit. They've had some bad quality issues, bad to worse. Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't hear that Daryl Guberman is part and parcel of the consulting side of Boeing, then don't go on it. I'm a shareholder. Do not fly on a Boeing. Go on Airbus instead. This is an advertisement. This is a fact. Because if I was not telling the truth, they would have had their lawyers come after me and say cease and desist, and said they took down those 2 documents that give them liability if need be or need arises. Ladies and gentlemen, I do this because I give a damn. You may not know me. I may not know you. But when you're flying at 35,000 feet and you have a part in the plane that may or may not been heat-treated properly, 22 years of handing your cert, handing your parts if the need be, if the need arises. My number is 203-556-1493. Remember something. At 35,000 feet, you don't want one of those parts that may or may not have been inspected fall apart on you. Do you? I thank you.